Let me ask you a dangerous question. Have you ever wanted a woman who didn't seem the least bit interested in you? Like, she looked at you the same way people look at printer error messages, with confusion and zero affection. You shoot your shot, and she responds with, "Oh, that's sweet." My brother in Christ, she just verbally friend-zoned you. But here's the wild part. Just because she's not interested now doesn't mean she won't be later. In fact, what if I told you, you can attract any woman, even the one who's ignoring you, without begging, chasing, or pretending to be someone you're not? Sounds like witchcraft, right? But nah, it's just female psychology, and maybe a sprinkle of swagger. Let me show you how to make her curious, confused, and finally craving you. Let's go. Part 1. Women don't always know what they want at first. All right? First thing you need to know is this. When a woman says she's not interested, it doesn't always mean forever. Sometimes it means not yet, or I haven't seen the full menu. Think about this. You ever open the fridge, find nothing you want, then 10 minutes later, you're back staring at the same fridge like it magically changed? That's how attraction works. People change their minds, especially when what's in front of them suddenly becomes more valuable. Women are emotional decision makers, not logical calculators. If you think attraction is like applying for a job, submit resume, wait for approval, you're already losing. Instead, you have to influence how she feels around you, not what she thinks about you. Let me say that again in plain English. She doesn't fall for the guy who says the right things. She falls for the guy who makes her feel the right things. Part 2. Stop chasing, start challenging. If she's not into you and you start chasing her like she's Beyoncé at Walmart, you've lost. Why? Because the second she realizes you're trying hard to win her over, she knows she's already won. And people don't crave what they already have. Here's a fun example. Ever see a cat? Try calling a cat over. It just stares at you like, "You don't own me." But the second you ignore the cat, suddenly it wants to sit on your laptop while you're working. Women are emotionally allergic to neediness. It screams, "I have no options, please choose me." That's not attractive, it's desperate. So stop chasing. Instead, challenge her. Be the guy who can have her, but isn't trying to. Now she's wondering, wait, why isn't he trying to impress me like every other guy? Curiosity activated. And curiosity is the gateway drug to attraction. Part 3. Mystery over availability. Let me hit you with some psychology. Humans are drawn to what's uncertain. It's why people still play slot machines. It's why unopened text messages are more exciting than read ones. And it's why a woman who isn't sure if you like her will start thinking about you more. This is where most guys fail. They lay all their cards on the table from day one. "Hey, I like you. I'd do anything for you. You're amazing." Relax, Romeo. That's not romantic. That's too much info too soon. Instead, be the human version of a Netflix cliffhanger. Give her enough to get interested, but not enough to figure you out completely. Talk to her, make her laugh, connect, but don't over-explain yourself. If she asks what you're doing this weekend, don't say nothing, just waiting to see if you text me. Say something playful like, "Might be getting into some trouble. You'll find out if I survive." Be vague, be fun, be unpredictable. She doesn't need a resume. She needs a puzzle. Part 4. Be passionate about something else other than her. Here's one of the sexiest things you can do. Have a life that doesn't revolve around her. No, seriously. When a man is busy building something, a career, a dream, a mission, he naturally becomes more attractive. Why? Because women don't want to be your entire purpose. They want to be invited into a world that's already exciting. Imagine a woman meets two guys. Guy A DMs her 12 times a day, always available, no hobbies. Guy B takes hours to reply, busy with passion projects, doesn't beg for attention. Who do you think she's more curious about? Who do you think she respects more? You don't need to fake being busy. Actually be busy. Go to the gym. Start that side hustle. Learn something cool. Hang out with friends. Make your life feel like a movie, so that when she walks into it, she feels like she just joined a blockbuster. Part 5. Flirt differently. Make her feel seen. Most guys flirt like this. Wow, you're hot. Hey, sexy, you're so pretty, which is fine if you want to sound like 97% of the male population. But if you want to stand out, flirt in a way that makes her feel seen, not just admired. Example, instead of saying, "You're beautiful," try, "You have this sarcastic little smile like you're constantly judging the world, and I kinda like it." See the difference? One is obvious, the other is personal. You're not just complimenting her looks, you're noticing her vibe, her energy, her essence. That's the secret. Make her feel like no one else has noticed what you see in her, because 99 guys are hitting her with the same boring lines. You're reading the fine print. Part 6. Be unbothered, even if you're rejected. This is where the magic happens, because eventually she might reject you. Say she's not into you. Tell you she just wants to be friends. That's your moment to shine. Why? Because most guys get salty, bitter, or needy after that. But you smile. Say, "No worries." You're cool regardless, and move on like a king. What does that tell her? You're confident, you have options, you don't need her approval to feel valuable. And that, my friend, is what makes her second guess everything, because now she's thinking, wait, he's not hurt, he didn't argue, he didn't beg for another chance. No drama, no clinginess. What kind of unicorn is this man? Boom, curiosity reignited. You just flipped the script. Part 7. Don't try to convince her. Let her convince herself. Here's the part nobody tells you. You don't actually have to convince a woman to like you. Because the truth is, when you try too hard to convince someone, they instinctively resist. It's human nature. But when you just live your life, build value, stay mysterious, flirt with charm, and don't chase, she starts convincing herself that there might be something there. Let her wonder. Let her imagine. Let her come to you. Think about it like this. You're not selling. You're marketing. You're the product. And the product doesn't beg. The product just shows how good it is and lets the buyer make the move. Part 8. When to walk away and why it's powerful. Finally, the hardest part. Knowing when to walk away. Sometimes, no matter what you do, she won't change her mind. And that's okay. Because walking away, genuinely, is the ultimate power move. Not as a tactic, not to manipulate, but because you respect yourself. When you can walk away without anger, resentment, or begging, you send a loud message. I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. And guess what? That's when they come back the most. Not when you chase, not when you plead, but when you're willing to let go with dignity. That's the type of man a woman can't forget. That's the man she replays in her head at night. That's the man she suddenly starts wondering about. So let's recap the secret sauce. Don't chase. Be a challenge. Be mysterious, not available. Build a life she wants to be part of. Flirt like no one else. Make her feel seen. Stay cool even if she's not interested. Let her feel you, not just see you. And finally, be ready to walk away. Attraction isn't about forcing it. It's about creating the conditions for it to grow naturally, like planting a seed, not building a robot. Be the man who doesn't need her, and she'll be the woman who starts wanting you. And remember, sometimes the best way to get her attention is to stop trying to get her attention. Now go out there, King. You've got women to ignore,